Hi, Stitchy friends. It's Kara, the Granite State Stitcher, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. And I am coming at you with my year-end 2024 WIP Parade. If you are new to my channel and just found me, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are returning to watch this huge, mega WIP Parade, kudos to you and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Um, I don't know about you guys, but I love year-end WIP parades. I like seeing what other people are working on, and inevitably, I always see something that is new to me, whether it is a new designer or a pattern that I've never seen before. And that's how we enable each other, right? And hopefully, maybe today you'll see something that inspires you. Um, I am a pretty diversified stitcher. I'll say that right up front. I stitch everything from samplers to monochromatic to patriotic to mirrors, you name it. If I like it, I stitch it. So without any further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to do these in the order of when I started them. I do have two, well, you can see part of it here. I have two huge stacks right here, so I'm going to have to do this in segments. But let's start with my oldest WIP. Oh, this is going back to 1995. It'll be 30 years old this year. And how sad is that, right? This is called New England Sampler by Ginger and Spice. And again, I started this in 1995 for a friend of mine, and obviously it never got completed. So now when I do complete it, it's just going to be something that I keep. And I do have the whole bottom of the sampler done. If you recall, this past year, I got this stitched in right here, and I left the year blank. Thankfully, I did not stitch in 2024 because there's going to be a 5 that goes there. This will be a 30-year long project, and it is my goal to make this my main stitch this year, just so that I can get this finished and wrapped up. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to have it hanging on my wall, and I want it to be my first finished piece that I hang up. So that is New England Sampler. My second oldest WIP is a Leisure Arts, and this is from, actually this should be my first because this is from 1991, so I got those reversed. But this is called United in Love. I had started this in 1991 for my cousin for his wedding, and obviously it never got finished. I was pregnant with my daughter, ended up having her, and then this kind of just got put to the back burner. And here it is right here. And I've decided to finish this up now for my son. And I'm getting rid of the 1980s colors, and I am adding the colors that he had in his wedding. And I haven't really done a lot on this. Again, something I really need to put an effort into finishing up this year. So here it is. Thankfully, she did have blues and reds. She had her bridesmaids wore burgundy, and she had a lot of blue flowers in her arrangements. So I'll keep these colors. Here are the doves. I need to outline them. You can hardly see them, or what I've started, because they're white. So I need to finish outlining them. Oh, that's only one dove actually. So I need to get the second one stitched. And then I'm going to make it look more formal instead of the seafoam green and those colors for the wording. I'm going to change it out, I think, to black because the guys had black tuxes. And then I think I'm going to add some beading and maybe some other flower flower type stitches. So we'll see. That's going to be a work in progress as I go along, to see how I change things up with that. But I do want to get that done this year. So the first two, my two oldest WIPs off the bat. Okay, the next one is, as I balance this pile, dog sampler. You just saw this in my last video because I had been working on it. This I started on April 27th, 2023. And here is the pattern to refresh your memory. And as I had shown you in my other video, I had finally finished. I'd gotten all the way across, got the second dog done, got the little trellis of vines here. That's just my needle sticking out. But I do need to put in another little motif there and another heart to even it out. And then I can start on the wording, the alphabet. So there we are with that one. This is another one I hope to get finished this year. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's a kit. It came as a kit. It's being stitched on 18 count antique white Aida with all the call for colors. The floss came in the kit. So next up, you haven't seen this one in a while. This is another reason why I love WIP parades, is because it forces me to dig out. And believe me, I had to go digging for some of these WIPs. I had no idea where they were. And so it really gets me kind of refocused and back on track, looking at some of these like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or yeah, I really need to start working on that again. So this is Welcome to the Lake by Hinzite. And the last time you saw this, I had stitched the outline in the wrong color. Oh, this is very wrinkly. Sorry guys, none of these are ironed. Like I said, I really had to go searching for some of these. I had actually stitched this in a green and it was supposed to be a dark blue. So I had to restitch all this, which is fine. I didn't mind doing it. I wanted it to be right. This I started on May 16th of 2023. And this is being stitched on 28 count mushroom jobelin with all the called for DMCs. So next, this is called Thanksgiving 1621 Sampler, and this is by Twin Peak Primitive. I really like this. This is a fun stitch. It really is. I really enjoy it. I should work on this more to try to get this done for this year for Thanksgiving. And whoops, let's pull that skein of floss out of there. And this is where I am on this. As you recall, I had an issue with the color of these pumpkins because they really closely resembled each other. So this one I darkened, and then this one I'm even doing in a different orange, so that they will kind of stand out. This one I think I'm just going to leave as a white pumpkin. I'll find a color, to put in for that one. Just change things up. But this really is a quick stitch. It's being stitched on 14 count Aida, vintage country mocha, with all the called for flosses. And hopefully if I really put some due diligence in on this one, I can get this wrapped up this year. That was my plan, actually, but obviously that didn't happen. Okay, the next one is My Home Sweet Home by Sweet Wing Studio. And this was a PDF pattern that she had offered exclusively for Heartland Quilt and Stitch. That's Terry and Jamie, the Cornhusker Stitchers, in case you don't know them. And I think probably it's available now. This one I started September 10th of 2023. And this is being stitched on 32 count Apparition by Color and Cotton. And I really don't have a large start on this, even though I do enjoy this one too. So that's where I am. Just the flag, the flagpole. This is all the call for Weeks Dye Works colors. And then this one you actually saw in my most recent video too. Letters from Nora, the letter A, being stitched for my granddaughter Allie. I was hoping I would have this done by now so that she could have it hanging in her room. I just need to get on the ball with some of these. I really do. I am about ready to start the wings on this with all the Krynic. So here I am. I did complete the dress and her skin. And now I need to come down the sides with the remaining sides of the letter A. But like I said, her wings are going to come into play there. So I think I will try to do as much of the regular, the DMC, before I start stitching the Krynic. I'll say that. Do that afterwards. But that one I really need to get finished up this year also. Okay, here's one that you haven't seen in a while, even though it has been sitting right here next to my chair. This is Hello Pumpkin by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And here is the design right here. This actually came out as a SAL, I think in spring of 2023. And this is where I am on this. I really like the colors that they've chosen for this. It's not your typical autumn colors. Like you wouldn't think of pinks and purples and turquoise as being part of autumn, but it really works well, I think, with this pattern. And they do have a Hello Winter, which has a little deer on it, and I think a Hello Summer that has a caterpillar. I could be wrong. There is one season that, as far as I know, they haven't done yet, and it's either spring or summer. I think it's spring that they haven't done yet, but don't quote me on that. Okay, this was my birthday start in 2023, and a forest grew. And I know that I'll be stitching on this for quite a while, but I just love it. I love anything Rosewood Manor. I really do. And this is being stitched on 36 count Edinburgh Antique White. This was my first endeavor at stitching on 36 count. And believe me, I dragged my feet a long time trying to decide if I really wanted to jump down that rabbit hole. And I did, and it's fine. It's fine. So here I am with this. I started in the top left-hand corner and just am filling in all the tree motifs as I go along. And there are 103 DMC colors for this pattern. Believe me, you never knew there were so many different variations of greens and browns and yellows. But I do like this one. This is going to be part of my regular rotation that I take out on the 4th of every month. just so that I can get some stitching into that because it will take me a while. Okay, here's another one that I really enjoy stitching on. This was my first time using pearl cottons. This is Bent Creek Patriotic Mantle. Ooh, that's not the finished one. Let me see. Hold on. Let me find the finished page. Finished. Oops. Okay. Here is the finished. There you go. And this came as a 3-part kit. You know, Bent Creek, usually they come in segments. And this is being stitched on 18 count raw linen, which I really like the effect that this stitch is having. And like I said, it was the first time I've used the pearl cottons. And again, one of those things that I was afraid, I wasn't sure, getting started, and then I ended up loving it. So here we go. Just the start of the Liberty Bell. And again, I should get this finished. Maybe I can get this finished by July 4th. I'm stitching this for my son. I don't have a fireplace in my house, but he does. And I think that he would enjoy, he's a very patriotic person, as is my whole family. We're all a military family over here. So I think that he would enjoy having that. Next, Baby Garden. All right, this is Just Nan. I fell in love with the pattern when I saw it. However, I had never stitched a Just Nan pattern before. And if you have, you know all the specialty stitches that are involved with working on this. So it's kind of been slow going along as I learned as and I really don't have a lot on this. Upper left hand, and this little bug. I don't know if that's supposed to be a bumblebee or just a bug. But this is being stitched on 28 count natural linen with all the called for DMC. And this was part of my arbitrary August for 2023. I put just a bunch of patterns on a wheel and I spun them every day in August of 2023, just coming up with different starts. This is another Rosewood Manor. Disclosure, you will see a lot of Rosewood Manors in my WIP Parade. This is called Patriotic Quilt. I actually got this down at this one, the Just Nan, and the next Just Nan I got at the Silver Needle down in Tulsa when I was down there visiting my daughter. This is being stitched on 32 count parchment by Weeks Dye Works. And wow, I have a whopping huge start on this one. Holy crap. Really? With a big hanging thread. See, I haven't even looked at this in I don't know how long. This was part of my arbitrary August. And this is actually being stitched with Valdani silks, so which is very nice. But I have one star. Start in the top left-hand corner of the flag. One star. And all the stars on this flag are backstitched in gold. So that's going to be a lot of backstitching. But that is pitiful that I only have that one star done on this. Okay. The next one is Winter Haven by Just Nan. Again, a very, very pretty pattern, but one that is a pain in my butt with all the specialty stitches. This one even has blending flosses in it. And this is being stitched on 28 count flax with a Veriswa silks. So again, it's going to be very pretty when it's done, but another pitiful start. Here we go, right there. Just a little top square. And that little square took me a long time to do, believe it or not. Because it does have blending in it. I should get back to this one. Some of these I just need to stop procrastinating and just do them. Okay. Next, we have a Teresa Kogut pattern. I know that you've all seen this one. Land that I love. This is being stitched on 35 count tin roof by Weeks Dye Works. And I did go back and forth quite a bit on what I wanted to stitch this on. I didn't really like the look of the tin roof. And so I was thinking, oh, should I use parchment? Should I use, vintage country mocha? But in the end, I did stick with the tin roof because I saw a finish by someone who had done the tin roof. And actually, let me back up a minute. I don't think that the tin roof was the material that was called for. Oh, it was. There was something with this that maybe it was called for, but the sampler was stitched on something else. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm happy that I chose the tin roof. I like it. Oh, again, not a very big start. Here we go. Upper corner, upper left-hand corner. I usually start in the upper left whenever possible. So another one I should put more time and effort into. Okay, this next one is called Scottish Door, and it's by Riolis. Without the glare. And I love this pattern. It's so cute. This is being stitched on a 14 count Aida, and it came with all the floss, and it's a wool. It's a wool floss, which I absolutely love. The coverage is amazing. And I only have the top of the door started. Good Lord. A WIP Parade where some of these are looking pretty pitiful. But that's why they're WIPs, right? Because they're just works in progress that we don't always get a chance to work on. Okay. Next one is the 2023 Collector's Heart. Again, and all these are still part of Arbitrary August that I did in 2023. And hold on, I got threads hanging here. And actually, this one, I am pretty far along. I should really try to make an effort to finish this one up. It's a small, so why not, right? I don't know why I don't have this done yet, but here you go. This is being stitched on 32 Heartland linen, and it is being stitched with cottage garden threads, one color. It's called leather bound, and I absolutely love this. It really, if you look at this, it really does look like it's one of those old leather bound books. The variegation in this is wonderful. I absolutely love it. So hopefully if I put in a concentrated effort on this one, I can get this one wrapped up because I do love it. Okay, next. The drawn thread. Now, the drawn thread I put in the same category as Just Nan. I love their patterns. I think their patterns are absolutely beautiful, but so many specialty stitches. And even though I really love this pattern, I am having a hard time working on it. I really have to be in the mood to work on this, and I haven't really been in the mood. But here you go. The Herb Garden. And I did get all of these in the series. The kitchen garden, the summer garden, the spring garden, the fall garden, all of them. So I really need to get past this, whatever it is that I have, this negativity about all these specialty stitches and just do it, right? This is being stitched on 36 count Edinburgh linen cream. And this is being stitched with NPI silks, which I love. I've decided that NPIs are my favorite silks. And not a big start. I do like the pattern. I think it's very pretty. Like I said, I just need to get my head on straight and just work on this. Next is my little sampler, running with needles and scissors. This is so darn stinking cute. Another one that I really like, and I don't know why I haven't put in more time on this. This is being stitched on 28 count bone jobelin, and it's being stitched with Gloriana silks. And not a very big start, I'm afraid. Here we go. Just the top part. And it's not difficult. It's a cute little stitch. It really is. And I'm doing this for Allie. Oh, I just need to focus. Focus and dedicate time. Next we have a Blackbird design. Maria Selby Humphrey, 1831. I'll just show you the copy so you don't get the glare. Okay, and it's a sampler right here. This is being stitched on 32 count French country mocha with all the called for, let's see, what do we got for flosses here? Oh, we have GATs, we have Gentle Arts. So all the called for Gentle Arts. And they are pretty. It's a pretty color palette. Kind of muted, which is fine. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. The sun is going to come in and create a glare. I might have to flip on the overhead light to offset it. And here we go with that. Just the top border started. Wow. Wow, wow. All right. Let me see if I can get through this pile before that glare gets too bad. Okay, next up, Rose Tree Lane. Here we go. I love this pattern. I love the pattern, the way that it looks. What I don't like is that it's a printed pattern. This came as a kit, JP Coats Floss. I started this on November 1st of 2023. Oh, there's also some anchor in here. And I just hate it. Because the X's on the cloth are not uniform. Like some of the lines are longer than other lines. You know what I mean, if you've ever done a printed pattern. So this is what I have done so far, and this across the top. So what I have decided that I'm going to do with this, and it really took me a while to think about this because I really did not want to stitch on this anymore, but I did not want to make it a UFO because of the fact that I do like the pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to photocopy this fabric because the pattern is on the fabric. Unfortunately, it's nowhere on the actual sheet that came with it. So I'm going to try to create my own photocopy of the pattern, and then I'm just going to get a new piece of fabric and I'm just going to stitch it like a regular cross stitch. I'm going to see if that makes me fall back in love with it. If it doesn't, then it may become a UFO because I just can't stand this printed cross stitch. Like I said, I love the pattern. I love how it looks. I think it's very country stylish. Well, it's called country stitching, but I just got to find a way to make it work for me. So hopefully that will. Next we have Season Sampler by Margaret and Margaret. I think we are now getting into Sampler September for 2023. And here we go, Margaret and Margaret. These are old patterns. These are from the 90s. And I am doing, I think this one at the top. They're both the same, but I think I'm doing the smaller version. And this is being stitched on 28 count vintage country mocha with all the called for DMCs. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. We got another little baby start here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I feel embarrassed to even show these to you. But the whole purpose of getting these out is to motivate me again to get started working on some of these. You know, I hope that you see stuff that may inspire you, but hopefully I see things that motivate me. Then we have, oh, I love this one. I love this one. I love this one. Anything by the Blue Flower, I love. This is Huckleberry Farm, and I know you've all seen this one. This was very popular a couple years ago. And again, I'm always late to the party. I don't always jump on the bandwagon when everybody else does, and that's okay. This is being stitched on 32 count shale. This is the called for fabric, and I absolutely love this fabric. By Picture This Plus, and here we go. Started top left, and I don't know if you can see the modeling in this. Maybe if I bring it up close. But this is a beautiful, beautiful color. This is a beautiful piece of fabric. I absolutely love this. And I love this this pattern. Love this design. This is being stitched on all the called for, I believe they're DMCs. Yep, DMCs. Well, it looks like there's a couple of weeks in there. This doesn't get stitched on as much because of, well, number one, because it's just been sitting in a pile, but And a Forest Grew is my other large one. So unless I actually work that into a rotation, it probably won't get touched again until Sampler September comes around of this year. We'll see. Okay, next up, you just saw this in my last video, Summer Quaker by Leela Studio. Being stitched on 40 count Old Massachusetts by Primitive Hair with all the called for DMC. But like I did mention in my other video, I am going to change up some of the border colors because the two colors that are right next to each other are too similar. You can't even tell them apart. So I am going to experiment with changing up one of those colors. Okay, next up is the Lebanon House sampler by Rosewood Manor. This was an exclusive done for keepsakes back in 2023. And I'm sure that you can get this pattern now. And I am stitching this on 30 count Weeks Dye Works gold linen. With all the called for Weeks Dye Works floss. And again, just a border start across the top. This is a cute little stitch. But to be truthful, probably one that won't get picked up again until Sampler September. Then we have Margaret Beatty. This one is so darn stinking cute. I love this one. Margaret Beatty, 1866. This one is just so sweet. The little bunnies, the little girl. And this isn't a very big sampler. What's the... it must be on the inside. This is being stitched on 32 count light khaki. And again, just the top border started. And this is being stitched with DMC. It does call for, I think, a Veriswa, but I think I just used the DMC substitute. And the last one for this pile, we have another Blackbird. This is Agnes Platt Strawberry Sampler. And it's actually this one down here in the corner, which is very light and you can't see. I mean, you can see the strawberry borders and the motifs across the bottom, but the sampler itself, if that's the way that it's stitched, which I'm hoping it's not, I hope the colors aren't really that muted. Here's another picture of it on the photocopy. But if they are that muted, I might change out some of those colors just so that it's easier to see. I don't mind having a muted sampler, but I also want to be able to see the design. And again, just a top border stitch. This was the one that I had started stitching this across the top in the wrong direction. Like I had my fabric turned and I got to the end and I'm like, wait a minute, how come I am running out of space? And I realized that I had my fabric turned and thank God it's the same border all the way around. Okay, so that's the first pile. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the next one up is Martha Evans, 1899, by the Scarlet House. I'm sure you've seen this one. Oops, let me get to my page here. This is being stitched on, hold on a second, 40 count winter white. Whopping start on this one, folks. My goodness, see? This really lights a fire under my butt to start working on some of these. It's a very pretty little urn for what it's going to be. And this is being stitched using all the called for DMC. Get back in there. Then we start in with the Christmas 2023 stitches. This one, I had this kit for a while. It's a Lucas S kit. It's called Dreaming of a White Christmas. And this was a sal that I started with Sarah. Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. As to what your channel name is. I will put it in the description box down below, the link to her channel. So we started this, and poor Sarah, she started it and then ended up spilling hot chocolate all over hers, so she had to restart hers. I don't really have a huge start, and this is like a lot of light stitching on white, but this is basically the staircase, the shadowing on the staircase. So that's what I have started. Oh, Lady Lugana. That's what Sarah's channel's name is. Sorry, Sarah. I don't know how I forgot that. Then we have Snow Days. This is a Mirabilia pattern, and I had to go searching for this. Whoops, let me get it without the glare. There you go. And this is one of her older patterns. And when I found this bag that it's in, I looked at the pattern, I'm like, I don't remember starting that. And I pulled it out, and sure enough, I had started it, but not a very big start. Being stitched with the Canon Water Lily colors and DMC. It's a very pretty palette, but again, one of those huge whopping starts. And here we go, top left-hand corner. I think I actually had to rip this out when I started it. Is that the back of the pattern? It is. Sorry, that was the back of the fabric. Oh my gosh, get it together. There you go. You can see it's a little tree. Oh my goodness. Yes. The battle is real, folks. The battle is real. Okay, so that's Snow Days by Mirabilia. 32 count natural linen, if I didn't already say that. Next, we have another Just Nan. This is called Ice Blossom, and it is so pretty. It is gorgeous. Again, I'm just battling all the specialty stitches. This is being stitched on 28 count Smoky Pearl cashel linen with all the called for DMC, and there are some Crynecks and Cannon water lilies thrown in with this. And this one I did start from the middle. Sorry, I get some hanging threads there. And it's just a little motif that's in the middle. Now, if I bring that up close, I don't know if you can see, but these are all satin stitches, which was driving me crazy because this linen it's not a tight linen, it's very loose. And trying to get those satin stitches to lay down and stay without puckering the fabric was driving me crazy. And I have to say that's probably the most difficult thing that I've encountered stitching on this. But again, that's a real pretty one, and I really do want to get some more work on that one. Okay, this is Winter's Peace Sampler by Artful Offerings. This one is so nice. I really, really like this. I had a little problem with this one. Wow, I really wish that I hadn't been sick this year so I could have pulled this out and worked on it. I was going along the top border and I was drinking wine at the same time, and I don't know, I guess I was trying to talk and swallow or whatever at the same time I was drinking it, and you can see little splatters of wine came out onto the fabric. My plan for this is to just stitch snowflakes over those spots. If you notice on the pattern, there are all these little snowflakes that are around. So I'm just going to stitch some more random snowflakes to cover them up. I'm not going to try to wash the fabric. It's been sitting for too long. It probably wouldn't come out anyway. So that's all right. That's my plan. We'll see if it works. But lesson learned. Don't be drinking red wine when you're working with white fabric. That's for sure. All right. Oh, we're going to turn on a light here, folks. Daylight is fading. Next we have 'Tis the Season by Blackbird Designs. It's in this book, Home for the Holidays. And it's this pattern on the back. I know everybody has seen it. And I really do love this pattern. It's being stitched on 32 count raw Belfast linen with all the called for DMC. I don't know. Oh, another huge start. Ah, one little leaf. There you go. This is probably the most boringest WIP parade you've ever seen. But like I said, it's good medicine for me because it is really motivating me to make sure that I pull some of these out this year and work on them. The next one is Penguin Pear by Hands On Design. Absolutely love this one. I think it's so adorable. I'm a penguin person. And I found this awesome linen to stitch it on. It's a 32 count Stormy Sea. It's one of those, I think this is from, yeah, Fabric Flare. Sorry, I do have a hanging thread there. But on this one, I start at the bottom. And I think this is going to look so good on this fabric. Oops, get that out of the way. So that's just the bottom of the little iceberg. But this fabric, look at this fabric, guys. It's awesome. Oh, it's so good. So good. So good. Now we have another country stitching. Merry Christmas with the printed pattern on the fabric. Again, I really, really like the pattern. But I'm going to end up doing the same thing to this one that I did to the other one. I'm just going to create a pattern on paper, somehow photocopy it, get in there. I don't think I have very much. Oh, look at that. More than I thought I did. I got the M pretty much started. And again, that came as a kit with JP Coates floss. So at some point, probably when I pull that out to work on for Christmas this year, that's going to get converted over to a new piece of fabric. Next one is Santa's Sleigh. This is another Nora Corbett. There you go. And this is being stitched on 32 count Twilight Blue. With all the called for, you know, it has Krynics and specialty flosses and everything else, and another whopping start. Wow. I really thought I had more done on this one, but I guess not. Gosh. Oh, all right. Then we have Mary Moose by Mill Hill. And, you know, I must be the only person alive that can't stitch on the stupid perforated paper because I screwed him up. Here he is. But I screwed him up somewhere around here, so I need to pull those out. You know, it's a small pattern. I guess I just wasn't paying attention. But anyway, I'll fix him up and get him done this year. For crying out loud. I should be able to, right? Oh, then we have the Nativity Sampler, another Margaret and Margaret pattern. I absolutely love this one. And I love the fabric that I chose. I went back and forth on what I should use, and I ended up using 28 count Arboreum by Cedar Rivers, and I love it. It might be a little dark. I might have to substitute out some of the colors, but that's okay. So that's what I have started so far for the top vines. But I just absolutely love, love, love this fabric. And that's all the called for DMC. And then we have Snow Queen. Snow Queen. Another one that I absolutely love. Let me get the bead pack out of the way here. Mirabilia. And I did get the special fabric for it from Fabric Flair. And I am absolutely in love with this. Oh, let me open it up. Sorry, it's still on the Q-snap. I don't have a whole lot done. It's basically the front hoof, the front leg of the reindeer. And as you can see, it's on this beautiful printed fabric. This one is going to be in my rotation, so I would like to get put a large dent into this year. And then the last start for 2023 is Quaker Christmas 2 by Bygone Stitches. And I really love this one. This I am doing on 32 count white Lugana, and I'm doing this with sulky threads. If you contact Sherry, the Colorado Cross Stitcher, she put together kits for this. And I really like using the sulky. It's nice only having to use one strand of floss, and the coverage is awesome. So here we go. Top left hand corner again. So sulkies, that must be what, the 4th silks that I've incorporated into my 2023 works. Okay, so I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to turn on some lights and come back with 2024 WIPs.